What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Knicks Chicks. I'm your girl, Lady, and the Chef, joined by my co-host today.
Diva Locks 21. What's up? What's good?
Happy Monday. We have a Monday night Knicks game this evening. So the Knicks will be hosting the Toronto Raptors at home. This is actually their last home game before they go on a nice road 5-game road trip. They'll be playing Utah, Phoenix, uh, both LA teams and Brooklyn, and then they'll have back-to-back home games against the Bucks. Um, one of the games being, I think Christmas Day, the Knicks play them. Then they also play OKC, Orlando, and Indiana, and then back home to the 17-4 Timberwolves. So that should be fun stuff. But this would be the second matchup against Toronto that the Knicks would be playing. Toronto's been a struggling team. Surprisingly, the Knicks did really well against Toronto the first time that we played them. Um, so I guess to ask you, we know the big news. We learned that Mitchell Robinson did suffer an injury against the Celtics the last game. So now Mitch is going to be out needing ankle surgery. Um, with Mitch, he's expected to be out at least 8 to 10 weeks. So basically about 2 months. Does Mitch's absence hurt the Knicks?
For sure. I mean, you could say what you and I've even said it, sometimes Mitch, because we don't get that offense from him, but in all honesty, we're gonna miss him on both ends. Defensively, for the rebounds and offensively, with those second chance points. So you're gonna miss his presence, regardless whether he give you 2 points, 0 points. It's the opportunity that he gives his other players, excuse me, to score. So yeah, you're gonna definitely miss that. Um, but it's the mantra is next man up. And with his absence, that's why you miss him in so many ways, and you don't realize it. But there's no margin for error with these guys, because they are going on a road trip with teams that are above 500, and let's face it, they're 3-9. With teams over a winning, excuse me, a winning record. And it's like all hands on deck. So yeah, get well, Mitch, and you will be missed. And but the caveat to that is that now Hartenstein, he definitely has to, step up and fill that void, as best he can. We both know they both have two different styles of play. And then Jericho Sims, so it forces, Tom to play his hands, with Jericho, definitely see, what kind of impact he can make. But yeah, we're gonna miss him.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Knicks are going to miss Mitch severely. Mitch is a big presence for the Knicks defensively. And, he does a great job getting us a lot of defensive and offensive boards that the Knicks truly do need. I think with him being out, it's going to be also important for Randall to help out on the
Oh yeah.
boards and continue to step up and help grab us some good rebounds that are going to be needed, as well as, Isaiah Hartenstein. I think this is a time for him to step up and implement more of his offensive presence as well, which could be very helpful in these upcoming games. And I think Jericho Sims needs to be like Miles McBride and stay ready. Just because you've been on the bench doesn't mean that you should come in. And, we did see him play some minutes last season, but I think that he needs to come in and be ready to implement his game into the offense and be a nice, he's a very strong young guy. So I think he should be able to box out guys. Don't let
Yeah.
guys intimidate him down in the paint and get us the boards, pass the ball up, set screens, be ready for
Hmm.
lobs if they're there. So I think that, I'm looking forward definitely to see both Sims and Hartenstein and see what they do in Mitch's absence, being that he's going to be out. I think they both need to play smart. We need to make sure the rest of the team, the guys that's on the team, stay healthy, in that. And, I think it's crucial for not even just Randall, but the other guards like Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, quickly to also
Oh yeah.
contribute towards getting
Hmm.
rebounds and crash the boards. So I think, aside from that, as a team, the Knicks are going to have to really step up defensively because this has been part of their woes and why the Knicks have been allowing so many points these last few games. And I know the last maybe 2, 3 games, Mitch didn't really have strong games, but again, you guys could still redeem yourselves while still early on in the season. So yeah, that's something but I wanted to ask, once Mitch comes back from the surgery, do you think he could rebound from the surgery? Or should the Knicks look to possibly, if he doesn't look good, make a trade? I know he did sign a 4-year, 60 million deal with the Knicks, but do you think Mitch is going to be able to rebound back from that surgery?
Man, you ready to trade him already? Gee.
I'm just saying, like, how do we think? I mean, we don't know, he should be okay. These guys have the best of the best and physical therapists and doctors, but is Mitch going to come back strong and have that bounce?
I mean, I think so because you having surgery. You heal yourself. You don't rush it. I'm quite sure he's not going to rush it, because that would be foolish, on his part, and the organization. But with Tibbs, who knows with him? Because who leaves your star player when you're
Right.
tanked already and 20 seconds left on the clock? But anyway, I'm quite sure he'll play smart and he'll get back to his old, Mitch ways as far as rebounding and just being that big presence, on the glass and just on the floor itself. So I mean, I'm not, you know, willing to push the panic button. There's 60 something, about 60 games left, you know,
Mhm.
at any given night. I've always said, and a lot of people say, it's anybody's game. You could
Yeah.
go on that win streak, and while other teams tank, and now you taking a home court advantage and vice versa. So now I'm willing to rock with Mitch and see what he can do when he does get back.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to when he gets back and seeing what he does because I think that part of the reason why I don't count the Knicks out is because like you were just saying, I think where you really need to make it count as a team in the NBA is towards the end of the season, unless you just had a really crappy season and it's just no redeeming yourself. But I think if you're still in the play in, anything is possible if you can come in and still power your way through, you
Yeah.
know, in March and April and be able to get yourself, again. And I think with the Knicks, because they did make it to the second round last year, it's important that the Knicks not just make the playoffs, but you got to get past the first round for sure. I think just going into the first round is not going to, I don't think fans are going to be satisfied with that. So, I don't count the guys out. I think that the Knicks still can make it, but I think one of the things that we both can agree on is that with the Knicks, there's no continuity amongst the guys and as a team, and it just seems to be kind of games where individually you have guys who are just individually producing, and it's not as a
Hmm.
unit, within a team. So a lot of that is missing on top of the Knicks not having the players that they need to be a better team. So it's a combination of not having the right players, the coach still being in his old school coaching style, and then I think some of the leadership is there, but it's not there to its full extent. So a lot of times with games, you don't see the teams coming together, and I just think the Knicks also don't really have that like really great player like we were talking about in our last episode, where that guy could just take over and go off and just give me the ball in my hands and let me do what I need to do to get us that W. And we don't have that 2, 3 guys on a team that we know those are the 3 guys. They're gonna do what they need to do to get us over that hump.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, It's just unfortunate, but again, we've talked about that. We're gonna dive more into. We're gonna have an episode where we are gonna talk more about the front office and things that they need to do to get the Knicks over the hump. But another player that is definitely been, I think a lot of us have been a little nervous is about was Jalen Brunson, who did also tweak his ankle. Um, are you concerned that Tibbs is playing Jalen Brunson, or do you think that he should be sitting and rest? Or do you think the Knicks can they even afford to rest him?
Well, aside from that game against Boston, that he should have never been in. When I was going to talk about this, with my grading of the Knicks, but we know Tibbs. I don't know. He has a tendency to, when the bench players, the role players are in, they're playing well. They bring the Knicks within whether 6 points or they take a lead. Tibbs he's notorious for pulling them and inserting the starters in. I don't know. I don't know if you noticed that, but he
Yeah, no,
has
I
a
have. I
pattern.
have.
Um, you know, is he playing Brunson too much? Yeah and no, but that comes from, again, like, you need that firepower, that 1, 2, 3 punch. You need that dog, and they don't have that. They lack in that. The Knicks need some real dogs that's gonna go down in the trenches and, like, pay what you weigh. Like, there's no reason why, like, you should be giving up that many points, and then your offense is not as efficient. Although some other writers say other, but yeah, Jalen, yeah, I think he does play him a little bit too much, but at the same time, I think he would probably rather be on that floor just as well. So, but you got to make smart decisions when it comes down to him, you know.
Yeah, I feel like the Knicks don't really have another option. I mean, granted, you do have Quickly who can handle the ball. You have DiVincenzo who can handle the ball, but like, who do you really have that's a solid point guard that could also give you the points and create on their own like he does inside, not just settling for the three? And I
Mhm.
just think also just the hustle plays that excuse me, that Jalen Brunson does where he's willing to sacrifice his body and
Yeah.
take the charge. Um, just his court vision, his decision making, his timely passes. I just think that the Knicks don't really have anyone else on the team to that capacity who could play to that level of playing that he does, that Jalen Brunson does. I don't think that the Knicks have someone on a team who can do that. So we know Jalen Brunson is a fighter and he's going to still want to play regardless. I think
Yeah.
tonight, most fans are going to be looking at how he plays to see like is he fighting through an injury like Randall. These guys very rarely get injured and they're warriors, they're fighters in that regard. I just think with you know, are we going to see that? And I think tonight is going to be key to look at. Um, I'm specifically going to be looking at aside from Hartenstein and Sims, like is Randall and Brunson going to both produce as well as RJ, or is it just going to be one of those out of the three guys that's going to give us, 25, maybe 30 points tonight? And I think that's another problem that we've been having is that yes, the last three games, each of those three guys have been averaging anywhere between 20 and 25, 23 points a game. But
Mhm.
I think the other supporting cast is what I was saying before. They're not
Yeah.
giving us enough. Quickly, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, they're not giving us enough to support those points that those guys are giving, plus the rebounds. I think Randall's been playing pretty well. I want to say the last game though against Boston, it was just a crappy game. The Knicks, like you were saying, they didn't play their style of ball and allowed themselves to play Boston style of ball, and that's something else that the Knicks need to work on to stop allowing teams to dictate how they're going to run and play the game. And, Toronto's going to look to come in and try to run and take revenge being that the Knicks won that
Yeah.
first game and because Mitch is out. So I think it's really important that, Hartenstein plays aggressive against Siakam and any guys that try to come in. You gotta, hold these guys. But I just think that Jalen Brunson, I hope that he's truly okay and he's truly able to play, but we'll see. We'll see when he gets out on the floor and see how he plays. Fans are pissed about the injuries. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank goodness that like I said, we have to wait and see how Jalen plays because he's scheduled to play, but you got to remember he did twist something. It wasn't as severe. Well, let's hope. Let's hope he don't get on the floor. And now, but I'm quite sure he practiced, so you got to take that into to consideration. Mitch, yeah, he is.
Mitch is actually out for like 2 months, Knicks and Ice. It's
Yeah,
longer than a month. It's gonna be 2 months.
yeah,
And Cat is off the table because the Timberwolves are doing really well. And why would we want to take Zion and he's out of shape? When Mitch is
exactly.
at least in shape and can run up and down the court and has stamina, I wouldn't want Zion. And I think also seeing him play against the Lakers in that in season tournament
They
game.
exposed him.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
You let an
He,
older man run circles around you, 10 times around past you, and he couldn't even keep up with him.
your
And
own
even if it wasn't
organization.
the Lakers, and another team would have ran past him. Zion Williamson, I think he starts off good, but he doesn't, there's no consistency with him every season. He's either injured and on the bench, after maybe 30 games, he's on the bench. He's getting paid to sit on the bench. He's a young guy and he has the skill set and level to go to the next level, but he lacks discipline.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to
He
say.
lacks discipline. So for him, I think if he truly wants it, he has to prove that and show that and not just think, well, I'm going to come out and show you I can get off. I have a nice bounce and can get off my feet and do a spin move. Yeah, that's all well and great. But for what? If you're only going to play half of the season, if that. And now because of your weight, he allows his love for food to come in between over his profession that he gets paid millions of dollars to play the game, and his excuses why are very weak. And for him to say, "Oh well, I get paid millions, millions of dollars, so I can eat whatever I want." So what? That's why it's called an off season.
Yeah,
But you
your
have to
own camp.
train, right?
Yeah, your
Exactly,
own camp pleaded with you for to get in shape. So why would we want to inherit something like that? Because you know what you're getting.
right?
He's like, this is it. Like, yeah, it'd be good to pair him up with RJ, but oh well, I don't think that's such a match made in heaven for the most part. There's other big guys that you can or wing, you know, go after. He can be a wing, but he's not disciplined, and it's a shame. He's very talented. But he has other priorities, and basketball is not one of them. As much
Exactly.
as he want, from my again spectators view. But yeah, nah, I'll pass on that.
Yeah,
But
I agree. I agree on that.
yeah. So what do you think? Did you discuss like what do you think it's gonna take for the Knicks to beat Toronto?
No. Well, first and foremost, it's definitely going to take defense. Like I was saying, the last few games, the Knicks are allowing teams to score well over 100 points a game. And
Yeah,
that's just not going to cut it. It's like I was telling you, yeah, the Knicks, and I don't even know if they're still in third because I have to check that stat. They were third in defense, but it doesn't show, that doesn't reflect when you're watching their games.
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't
I said
reflect. You
this.
guys can't be, and again, I don't think that they still are there because the Knicks right now are sitting at seventh. And if you keep playing around on this road trip, you're gonna wind up in 11th or 12th. We're gonna blink and be like, "Oh snap! How did they get in 11th, 12th that quick?"
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So, and I think part of that and what it's gonna take also is that it's gonna take that continuity amongst them as a whole unit playing together, not one-on-one basketball. It can't just be Randall, you know what I'm saying, playing, giving us his all one night, maybe Jalen Brunson or just two guys. We need the supporting cast to also come in and help out.
Yeah.
You know, I need to
Hmm.
see Josh Hart contribute and give us more than 6 points. DiVincenzo, I need to see you contribute and give more than 3 to 6 points also. Grimes, you had a nice 13-point game the last game. I need to see Grimes come off the bench and give us at least, 13, 14 points tonight. Quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly gave us 17, but to see him stay consistent because the past previous games prior to Boston, he's been a little off. He was a little quiet. I don't know. He fell out of the rotation a bit. And same thing with RJ. I need to see RJ contribute and stay consistent throughout these games. So I think the Knicks, I want to see them play as a unit together and not just individual guys giving us 23 to 27
Hmm.
a night. And it just doesn't cut it because we've seen that and that doesn't work. Yeah, Randall could give you 40, 45, but you're not getting a win. Brunson could give you 40, 35, 40 points, but you're not getting the win because you're not playing together. That's
Yeah.
what's missing, that togetherness to play as a unit and that communication. So the Knicks, I really want to see the defense be locked in. They have to guard the 3-point line. I mean, that needs to be stressed upon so heavily in practice. These guys got to be able to guard that 3-point line and not give guys any space to shoot that 3-point shot
Yeah.
and protect the paint. And also, I want to see the Knicks. The Knicks have done a pretty good job this season and in the paint points, driving into the basket. But I want to see that more. Don't settle just for the three. You know, I always say don't settle for the three
Oh
and take it
yeah.
in if you can and get teams in foul trouble. It costs you nothing to get them in foul trouble. And then I want to see these guys hit their free throws. The Knicks
Yeah.
have been just okay at the free throw line. So I would like to see them hitting the free throws, crashing the boards, and not just relying on Hartenstein and Randall to get the rebounds. I want to see Quickly going for rebounds. I want to see Josh Hart, DiVincenzo grabbing rebounds. Grimes go for the rebounds. Don't just settle and watch and look for them to grab the rebound and for you to get the pass. And
Yeah.
then I want to see guys run down the floor. You know what I mean? Like the Knicks need more speed. A lot of times I'll see where Quickly or Brunson's bringing up the ball and they got to slow it up because now they got to wait for everybody else to get down the court. Get down the floor a lot quicker. So I think
Yeah.
the defense is definitely going to be crucial because that's what's really been hurting the Knicks. It's been the lack of defense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, for me, like just to piggyback, yeah, I'm concerned that the Knicks coaches front office have no plans on where to go or what to do. Yeah, same here. I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother story, man, with that front office. But for me, it's 5-man basketball. All like I said, all hands on deck. Control the tempo from out the gate. um Defensive intensity, you definitely have to bring that, you have to have that. um you know you watch your turnovers. I mean,
Salute, Boogie.
salute Jay, but you definitely have to have, watch your turnovers. The floor spacing is key, so hopefully Hartenstein could definitely bring that on the floor. um and everybody has to step up, your role players. DiVincenzo, I know he didn't have the best game. But I'm confident he'll bounce back. And for the most part, just put them away. Don't don't let them think, that they could win this game. Knock all possibility from out of there, just the thought that they can possibly win it. Toronto's on like a 3-game losing skid. So of course, this is a revenge game for them. So they're gonna come out with some defense intensity. Try to take you out your game, but it's no win is easy. You still got to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think that both teams have been coming off of a losing streak. But I
No,
think
yeah,
the Knicks definitely need to come in, being that you're going to be
look,
home,
buddy.
and try to capitalize and get this win at home before you hit the road. And then it's going to be so important that when you do hit the road, that you capitalize off of those wins. Because it's a tough road game streak that the Knicks have of games coming up. The Knicks play tonight, and then they play their next game on Wednesday. So that's going to be interesting. I did want to go over what Mitchell Robinson did say um, regarding his
Is
injury. So he went over to Snapchat and said, and quote, "Been battling stuff my whole life. Some days I feel like I take 10 steps ahead, and others feel like I took 20 steps back. Even when I do, what am I supposed to? What I'm supposed to? God throws these battles at me that feel like they're unbeatable no matter what I do." He said, "I know I shouldn't be letting this stuff get to my mental, but over time, it just takes over." I mean,
like Tib says, soldier on.
right, right,
And it
right.
is hard, Like I said, we're just spectators, so we don't know what they're going to mentally, physically, emotionally, But as fans, we're behind them.
Yeah,
Got to take the good with the bad, and things happen. Let's just hope he could just bounce back and be his old self. Yeah, because
yeah.
he's crucial, to the Knicks organization.
I feel like Mitch made that statement because he does battle injuries, and I think last year and so far this year up until this point, Mitch has been at his healthiest. So
Hmm.
I think that prior to that, I think Mitch was kind of like he was playing for us and going out there and playing games, but I think he was kind of like Zion, where I don't think Mitch was taking like his physical part of it being in shape and seriously, and I think last year Mitch finally like jumped on board and was like, all right, let me
Hmm.
stop playing around, and I don't even think just because he got a contract, I just think Mitch was like, let me get it together so I could stop, you know what I mean? Like, let me work on getting in shape and be more
Yeah.
so game ready.
Hmm.
And injuries is part of any professional sport, but and like you said, I just I read that and I was like, I hear him, but I think you do. You just have to soldier on. That the game must go on, and we have to continue. So salute Kareem Grant.
Salute, Kareem.
Um, so yeah, I just think that you know it's one of those things that what are the Knicks gonna do? But I think for now, like I said, the Knicks right now, they do have to focus on taking it one game at a time. You don't want to, get too ahead of yourselves. But I think this road trip is really going to be key because right now, like I said, the Knicks are seventh in the Eastern Conference. Um, the Nets are right behind them. They have the same
Yeah.
record at 12 and
Record.
9.
Yep.
And then you
Same
have
record.
the the Cavs is 13 and 9. So they're one right
Game
right
behind them.
up, yeah, and the Pacers at in fifth. So I mean, you have Miami in ninth, they're at 12 and 10. So that's why I said the Knicks got to be careful because if you slip up too much in this month, I mean, tonight and Wednesday the Knicks should be taking those games. I think Friday the Knicks need to look into trying to redeem themselves against Phoenix and get that win. And the Clippers aren't playing that great, so you should be able to beat them on Saturday. So the Knicks do have back to backs playing Friday and then again on Saturday. But I would like to see out of this week's games between today and then Saturday, I would like to see the Knicks at least go 3-4.
Oh yeah, for that road trip for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are some, although those are teams that are above 500, but they're winnable. There's a lot of things that you can do. Tighten up your defense. Your offense. Has to flow just a little bit better. You know, Sometimes they have these sloppy passes, and now that causes the turnover and leads to transition points. So just I mean, so that's something that they can definitely tighten up. They're winnable. It's anybody's game.
Yeah. You think that Tibbs is also gonna go with Grimes coming off the bench again?
He should.
Yeah.
I mean, Grimes seems to flow better off the bench. For whatever reason. Well, it's probably a multitude of reasons. Probably the confidence, and he fits better in the flow with the second unit. So let's hope he keeps that rotation like that.
Mhm.
Um, and let him come off the bench.
I think
I
it's
hope
less
so.
pressure too for Grimes. I think he
Yeah,
feels less pressure, and I think that messed with his nerves also starting. And I think coming off the bench, he's able to sit and analyze the game and how's it going, and then it allows him to get prepared when
yeah.
he's subbed into the game to be able to implement himself into the game. So I think where you have somebody like Dante DiVincenzo with more experience playing in high volume games and against playing on better teams, coming from playing on
Yeah,
better teams, I think that it just helps. Now, I think when you have a shooter like DiVincenzo who does shoot the ball a lot better than Grimes, but even including Grimes, I think it's important that Tibbs spaces out the offense more when the Knicks have the ball so you can have those guys be able to shoot. And then less of the ISO ball, like allowing Randall or Brunson to do the one on one. And then I think it's key that RJ finds the open lane and drives because he does do that well. So I think that the Knicks have to learn how to, throughout this stretch, um, and make this part of their regime is to space out the floor on the offensive end and make the extra passes and try to get those shooting guards that open shot. And then the shooting guards need to learn how to, if the three isn't there, you're not knocking it down, take it in a little bit or
yeah.
drive and try to get the
Hmm.
contact and get the foul and then get to the free throw line. So that's something that, again, it's too much individual play and there's not enough team play within the Knicks. And that's why the Knicks collectively are not a good team. They're just an okay team because they do not play together. And again, like I said earlier, it's also because of who we have on the team, but it's still not excusable why you still can't be a good team for who you have on the team currently. So I think that it's important that, the Knicks find you, like you were saying, they got to do some soul searching and figure things out immediately because you can't allow January, February to come in and you want to try to click and make things come together. And not saying that it's too late, but one thing that you and I was saying like early on within our episodes is that it's so important that the Knicks find the continuity now so that way you get late in that later second half of the season, it's there and it starts to click and gel. And I don't think it's still too late for that. I think the Knicks could still find that, but I think that the Knicks have to figure out a way to communicate better as a team. And I think even in practices, if there's those two-man games that could be developed, where maybe if
Yeah.
Josh Hart is able to maybe connect with, a lot of times people see the Nova boys connect on the floor. But I think that, even if maybe Brunson or Josh Hart or Quickly could maybe be able to implement lobbing a ball into Hartenstein and get him some nice dunks passes down low. If Randall, if you're gonna set the screen, and you're not gonna roll, maybe have another guy set the screen so this way, I mean, they got
Hmm.
to implement a little more pizzazz to the offense because right now the offense looks stagnant. It looks very stale and it looks predictable. And I think just
Yeah.
watching it, you're looking like, well, what? I feel like if you looked at the Knicks a few years ago, the Knicks didn't look like they were running plays. The past maybe 2 years, the Knicks look like they are running plays, but it just seems like they do the plays in the beginning and then they just stop doing the plays or they run it and it's half ran. And then I think it becomes one on one after a while. And I get feeding the guy who has the hot hand and continue
Yeah.
to keep feeding who has the hot hand. But I think that when you are doing that, I think that's where basketball IQ comes in because you can't just stand in the corners and go, okay, I'm gonna let him do his thing and wait for the ball to get past to me. The Knicks have to develop, and as a team, if Tibbs is not allowing you to, I think still at the same time you have to be smarter than that as teammates and say, well, if I cut to the basket or I set a screen, no one's asking you to be, have eyes behind your head and make passes behind your back. But I think that you have to be able to kind of like how Hartenstein has good court vision and he's waiting for
Yeah, he
someone to cut
does.
to the basket and no one cuts. That's what the Knicks need more of to see guys to be able to move without the ball and to see the ball actually move more than one time, but watching the passes and making smarter passes. So I just think that I'm going to be looking not just, again, mainly at the defense, but the offense also, because even if you are making shots, sometimes that's not enough. The Knicks could be on and they're knocking down the threes, but then you have teams that the Knicks are playing, they're knocking down just as many shots as we are.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I think, but I think Grimes coming off the bench is a better bet for the Knicks just because it is a lot less pressure for him. I think he can come in and who knows, this may be a great thing for us moving forward because Grimes coming in, he can give us a nice 12 to 30 because this is what we was looking for Grimes to do to give us at least like
As a
12
starter. Yeah.
right points a game. I just think giving us 3 to 6 points is not enough. And that's not enough also for Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, quickly,
Not
to
no
just come
$80
in and
million worth.
but this is what I'm saying. And some people say, "Oh, well, Josh Hart is just a role player." That's what no, I don't care if he's just you know your role, but you should be able to because you've proven that you can give us 17, 20 points in a night.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can't come in and just say you're going to give us 3 points, 7, 8 rebounds, and you're going to have a couple of assists. I think you have to be able to do a little bit more than that. So
And
you know,
and that's why you was given that contract because of what you showed us last season of
right.
what you can be and the potential to contribute to the team. So no, it's not. No, he's not. No, he needs to step up a little bit more. But,
Mhm.
well, the whole team do. Now a question: the Knicks last year, we know that they were a fifth seed. Um, and what they did. Do you think that they can get back there? And if so, what will it take for them to get back there?
I think the Knicks can get back there, but it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very tough for them to try to get to the fifth, maybe even the sixth seed. Because and it's not even just because Mitchell Robinson got hurt. I think even if he didn't suffer an injury or, whoever, I think even if you have a healthy Randall and Brunson and RJ, the biggest problem and why I think it would be tough for the Knicks to get there is because they don't play together as a team. And because the Knicks don't play together as a whole, as a unit, and they don't gel together as a team nor play that way. It's a lot of individual play, and then we get sprinkles in some games where they play great together. That to me is going to be make it hard for them to get to the fifth seed, as well as the Knicks are not a good team defensively. I just think the Knicks are very lackluster on defense. I think sometimes the effort to even sometimes I think we was talking about this last time, like seeing guys actually hustle down to the other end of the floor to play
Hmm.
defense if the ball gets stolen or, I just think sometimes the decision making when the Knicks are in the paint, sometimes when they go up for a shot and they allow someone to block them once, two, three times, it's like, and I think it just goes back to what I was saying. You don't have enough guys cutting to the basket, moving without the ball, just the decision making and like we're going to the basics and what guys lack and thereof. So I think for them to get there, they have to play together. The Knicks do not play together as a team. They play, it's just there's no togetherness. And I think
Yeah.
also part of it is Tibbs. I think his coaching style is a big factor in that. He plays very outdated. His coaching style is very outdated. And, there's not enough proper plays ran for the guys that you do have. So I think, sometimes like even when I see Randall has the ball and it's a lot of ISO play, it kind of reminds me of like when we had Melo. and it stopped the
Yeah.
ball movement. It was too much
Mhm.
time wasted. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen Randall hold it too long to where he's trying to get it off the last 20, 30 seconds. I'm going to knock on wood because maybe I jinxed it and he's going to do that tonight and wait till it's 2 seconds left to try to pass it while he's in the air. But, I think when we see that, it's a lot of stalling. And then it just goes back to, like I was saying, like, I just think that, yes, you play teams several times throughout the season, and teams are going to know how to read your offense and what you're going to do. But I think the basketball IQ for a lot of the guys on the team is just not there on the Knicks. And we just become a very readable, predictable team. And, I think even you dropped down the Knicks being 50 wins, and you said you went to like 48 or 47, 47,
47. Yeah.
43.
Like last
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that, for the Knicks to get there, they would have to really do some drastic changes as a team. And then I think also the other half of it is the front office having to make huge changes that the Knicks just who we have right now, this isn't it. And I think the Knicks front office, like we talked about before, has to do a turnaround and bring in guys who could play with Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Finally got the point guard that you've needed that we haven't had in years. And I'm not saying he's a superstar, but I think you need guys who could run and gun with him. And I think watching him in FIBA, he didn't play outstanding, but he had the guys in place, but that made the game easier for him. And he didn't have to be shooter, shooter, shooter all the time. He was more of a facilitator. And I think we need the scoring guards in there and the guys who can hit the mid range and who can create for their own and get to the basket for us to be able to make that fifth, possibly sixth seed and possibly
Mhm.
get 50 wins. What about for you?
Yeah. Same here. For them to get back up there, they definitely got to do some like serious internal, overhaul. Whether you got to explore the market for a big guy, like yeah, somebody that's gonna a wing defender. We got to pick up our defense, although our defense is ranked up there, amongst some of the better teams. But anytime you give up plus 275 points within a matter of 2 games, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
And our offense, it's to me it's ISO 1-on-1, too much selfish ball, no ball movement, too much 1-on-1, and it's not as efficient. So that definitely needs to take a look at that. And and Tibbs, his coaching style, his decision making. Um, is it a change for the coach? Who knows? But that needs to be explored. Should we tank and just go after somebody? So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. But I believe that they can, but they just need to make some serious like moves internally within the organization, whether it's the players coming together and playing as a five-man ball, and then you got your cast, your supporting roles. Yeah, it's doable because in all honesty, they've only made like one change.
Yeah.
They swapped out Obi for DiVincenzo, so you still have your same core group of guys.
Hmm.
So there's no reason why you not your standards is not as high as it is. Because you got a lot of teams knocking at the door that is gonna be knocking you out of your spot any moment now. So again, they have to play, more as a unit and not so much selfish ball. Are we missing a superstar? Yeah, because Randall's just not it. So I think maybe they need to explore the market, for that, that superstar. But that's just some of my take on it. But I believe that they can get back even with this group, fifth seed, maybe six. Yeah, that's a possibility.
But the Knicks, to me, can't do seventh or eighth.
Oh, for sure. No, no, they know they can't. You do eighth, you're knocked out because who you run up against? Boston.
Who you can't
Um,
beat.
e- e- exactly. You
Orlando, who you can't beat.
Yeah,
Milwaukee, who you can't
you
beat.
can't beat.
The
Yeah, so
Timberwolves, who you can't beat.
yeah, you're not even gonna get past that, man. So yeah, they definitely can't fall to that HC. They definitely want to advance. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. So, what's up, Eddie? He said, "Can we handle Siakam in the paint tonight?"
Spicy P. Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, but and then you got yeah, is Mitch is out
For
8 to 10
2 months.
weeks.
Mitch is out 2 months.
Yep, and then you got the kid Scotty Barnes in it, and Toronto said he is not up for discussion. He is not going anywhere. They said don't even mention his name. They
Hmm.
are not giving up Scotty Barnes. So it sounds like they're gonna build around him.
Yeah,
And when anytime when an organization says that, I mean, although things could change, but it sounds like they're gonna rebuild around him.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah. I think the Knicks can hold Siakam tonight. I just think that I think one thing I do like with Hartenstein is he's a lot more mobile than Mitch. I think that he's able
oh
to
yeah.
step outside on the defense and not just stick to the paint. Um,
Hmm.
and he does do a good job boxing out on guys. So I think that he's just him and Sims are gonna just have to play extra aggressive with Mitch being out. That's gonna be key. And for guys like Randall and guards like Quickly, Hart, and DiVincenzo, they're also gonna have to help on the boards and crash the boards and not just rely on Hartenstein to go in and grab the boards, him and Sims. I had the seventh seed. Yeah, but seventh is not. If the Knicks finish at seventh or eighth, I give them first round in the playoffs, and then they're out of there.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get out that first round.
We're one injury away from the lottery. Front office better make moves. Yeah,
And to me,
yeah.
just need to tank, man, and just start from scratch, man. Yeah, he is. When that's what he alluded to. That's what he said in Twitter.
But the Timberwolves is not looking to get rid of Cat because they're doing so well. Like they're trying to keep him because they're playing really, really well. Unless maybe he changes his mind. The only other player that the Knicks could possibly still take is Donovan Mitchell. He's the only player who the Knicks, and to me, the Knicks should go after getting Donovan Mitchell because he can give you a lot of things that right now you're not getting from other players on a consistent basis. He's a high scorer. He can drive. He can shoot the three. He can handle the ball. He can help bring the ball up. He's quick. He's not injury prone. And Cleveland can only offer him but so much money. So the Knicks could top that. And I don't think he's going to be looking to try to get a, a huge bag because he really wants to play in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
He's thirsty to play in New York. He's like waving, look at me, take me. And if the Knicks bypass that and don't go after him, I just think that that's, it's going to be a shame. I don't know what Leon has up his sleeves, but he got to figure it out. Tibbs must draw set plays for the team. Yeah, the lack of plays is just, I don't know what kind of plays those are that Tibbs draws for the team. You see some of them and they work. You know what I mean? And then other
Yeah.
times sometimes I'm like, oh wow, a team fell for that. And then other times I'm like, what was that? Unless the players didn't run it right or I don't know.
Yeah, the offense is just so readable, man. Like, I don't know, the teams just seem to have the Knicks number, what they're gonna do. They just anticipate it. And that's a shame, when a team could read you and what you're gonna do.
Best performance this season is 42 wins. This is because we
Wow.
may lose all 10 games. We will be playing with Bucks and Boston's this season. Already we have 3 out of the 5 games with Celtics. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing with the Knicks. The Knicks have to prove that they can beat the better elite teams in the league. And so far, the Knicks have proven they cannot beat teams who are well over 500. They just seem to not be able to. One, they're allowing way too many points against those teams. And two, they just can't seem to close out those games and beat those teams, which
And
is a huge problem.
not for nothing, they couldn't beat him when Mitch was in the lineup. So now
Right.
it becomes even harder to do it. Not that Hartenstein can't, get it done and he's not going to make a contribution, but it just makes it all the more harder to me. You couldn't do it while he was in the lineup. So now you're one man down. So now you got to rely on Hartenstein and then Sims to come off the bench, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And then now, Randall's gonna have to switch to the five at some point, So it's like we're doomed. The Knicks is doomed. Let's be real.
Donovan also may take the focus away from Brunson.
Yep.
Yeah, because then now Brunson doesn't have to always just shoot. He can get the ball passed to him. I think they can play well together. But see, then that also concerns me because knowing Tibbs, he's not going to play them both on the floor at the same time.
Hmm.
He's going to have Donovan, and Tibbs. But see, that's my problem with Tibbs. He doesn't know how to take risk and switch up the lineup. He thinks that the same guys got to start. And not to say rightfully so, you should have your starters. But I think sometimes after the start, it's okay to have, for example, if you did get Donovan Mitchell to play him with Brunson, I think sometimes you could have two of those guys come off and piggyback off of each other on the court. And now you could have one guy be a distraction and or vice versa, and the other guy passing, the ball.
Yeah,
And now,
and also it could even take the pressure from like Brunson and RJ. Now they can get into more of the flow of the offense because they're concentrating on Spider and Brunson. That
Mhm.
leaves RJ and Randall open. So that's why the front office, man, they gotta do some serious, like, man, like, what can we do to get better? And like I said, like we said, they sitting on all these picks. I mean, let's hope there's a strategy behind that.
Yeah,
You could quick. I mean, I hate to see Quick go, but you could throw in Fournier, Grimes, and Quick. I mean, quite frankly, I would take him because Quickly's not signing. If he was, he would have did it already.
yeah, because the
Y-
Knicks are not giving him the 25 mil that he asked for. The Knicks came up 7 million short.
Yeah,
So
well,
I just think I agree with you. I think the Knicks need to me, here's my thing. I don't think the Knicks should try to look into necessarily rebuilding because then to me you're going to revert back way too far, and I don't think we were already at that point of rebuilding when we
rebuilt
had
it.
a no, because we were
Yeah,
there
I
when
know.
we had Burke and all those other random guys, and we had what was his name that people still, I don't know why Knicks fans think that he was so good. Oh my gosh, what was his name? He was the center for us from Chicago
Oh, Taj. They even talk about bringing in Taj. I heard his
all the
name thrown
time.
out.
And I don't
I
know
heard it.
why. I'm like, what did y'all see in Taj Gibson that I didn't see? Because to me, he was like, and I'm not at a loss for words for good reasoning. I just don't see what they saw. But anyways, I don't know. I think the Knicks, they have to not necessarily go back to trying to rebuild, but throw it all away and bring in pieces around your key point guard. And you need a second backup key point guard. You need a backup
Mhm.
forward to Randall. You need a solid center and have Mitch be the second option or bring in someone else or keep Hartenstein, figure that out. And you need like two other solid shooting guards and maybe a backup to RJ, because right now what we have, this is not it. It's not it. It's not it. The main question is the front office seeing what we are seeing? Do they see the deficiencies of the team? Do the meet to discuss issues? It's becoming frustrating. It is very frustrating. It's very frustrating. I don't know. This is something that, I wonder, like you were saying, why the Knicks sitting on picks. Also, I also question, like, why don't the Knicks have the ability as an organization to go after like good players? The Knicks, I was saying this before to you, they tend to go after like the C and D players instead of like A and B style players,
Yeah,
meaning
yeah.
skill set level. They're on like a level A or B. The Knicks tend to go after guys that's on a level C, D, or we go after guys that's too injury prone and they sign them for, a decent amount of pay or good pay. I shouldn't say decent, but good pay, and they ride the bench. And I think they've done a great job with that of not really doing that as of late. That's why I don't think the Knicks should go after a guy like Zion because it's just not going to be worth it. But I think the Knicks pick guys that's like decent
Yeah.
instead of guys that are like, wow, he's good. Like, look at what, we were naming a couple of players the last episode, like a OG Ananobi. You know what I mean? Like, you need guys. I want to see guys who could produce and bring something to the team, not just offensively, but defensively at the same time. And the Knicks, I don't know why they don't like bring guys to the team who could produce and give you, level A, B quality of play and better basketball IQ. You see a lot of other teams have those good players. Miles
Yeah.
Turner was another one we was talking about, but the Knicks just don't. We don't put guys like that on the team.
No, we need us the Knicks need a legitimate superstar.
Yeah,
And that's what they're lacking. Tibbs is not the right coach for them. And trading for good role players instead of giving up all your assets. Yeah, for a star will be the right move in my opinion. I'm
yeah,
I'm
I
in total
agree.
agreement.
I
You're
agree a
sitting
hundred
on these
percent.
picks. What are you waiting for? First of all, Rose and Tibbs need to, put that friendship aside and just, deal strictly business related. Like
Yeah,
I don't care if that's your friend, but you have an allegiance, to the organization and quite frankly the fans. You know,
agreed.
so put that friendship to the side and work in getting somebody that can bring, some wins and contribute. So that's just my take.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is a problem with the Knicks. The Knicks have to start holding teams to less than 100 points. The defense has to step up. We are allowing teams to score well over 100 points a game these last few games, and that's just unacceptable. And I
Yeah,
agree. I don't think that Tibbs is, I think Tibbs is, unfortunately, we have him for a whole nother year, a whole nother season. And,
yeah, we do.
I think the Knicks need to look to make their moves and get rid of him because he's not it. Because it makes me wonder, okay, if the Knicks did bring in the right players or that superstar, are we going to see changes and we're going to be winning, or are we still going to be missing the mark?
Exactly, because if Tibbs still has that same coaching style, well, then it was not for not, for you got to be willing to change. And if he,
Exactly.
he doesn't change, then what goods does it do to bring in a superstar? Yeah.
Presently, we are the only big market without two reliable stars. Yeah. The Knicks haven't had two or reliable stars in
Whoa,
since Patrick Ewing was
years.
here and John
Exactly.
Starks.
Oh man.
And that's what the Knicks need. When you look at it, a lot of the other like really good teams in the league, most of them have at least two players that are really good, and they can piggyback off of each other and they develop a two-man game. And the
Yeah.
Knicks just don't have that, unfortunately, and we
And my thing is the way the Knicks sit at and where they're at currently, I would grade them a C minus, and that's high for them. Um, that's pretty high because they should be further along. There's no way they shouldn't at least have, I would say, 15 wins. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so that's high for them. Due to a few things. It's the coaching style. His decision making. His little thing with defense, which how can you be rated amongst the best and you're giving up so many points? But that's another
Agreed.
story. You know, um, and quite frankly, JB, I don't, he's not. And I guess tonight will really tell if he's like in his old form. He doesn't seem to. I don't know. In these last few games, I don't know.
Hmm.
Even outside that, his tweaking his ankle.
He's been a
Um, I-
off. He's been a little off.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he has. He's been a little off. Randall, he seemed to regress a little bit. You
Hmm.
know, again, tonight would definitely, tell you a lot more about them, where they're at. Even though it's a home, and they need to win this because they're going out on the road. Um, and overall, the whole team needs to step up. Because they all seem to have regressed. But
But that's because they're not playing together.
yeah.
That's why they're not
Mhm.
playing well as a team because they're not playing together as a team. And that's what's really showing when you watch Knicks games. These guys are not playing together,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't know if there's some division in the locker room, if it's the lack of leadership. We know part of it is Tibbs,
Oh yeah, yeah. Like Wonder
you
Woman
know.
said, it's a Tibbs issue. It is.
What's the direction on the team? Who's actually leading this team to the right where we need to go, where we need to be? I want to hear real responses from Tibbs in the post games. I don't want to keep hearing the same things he's saying in pre and post game coverage, media coverage, and I think that, you know, at some point as a team, you got to be like, yo, we keep having these collapses on defense, and you wouldn't have to be losing by 10 and 20 points or getting blown out and allowing teams to score 125, 133 against you if you were playing better defense. And I
Yeah,
just think
yeah.
part of that too is that this is why you were saying earlier the Knicks allow games to go be very close in the fourth quarter
Mm-hmm.
or most of the game. It's like a very, within 4 points or 6 points, the games seem to be very close. And then the Knicks have trouble closing out games in the fourth and just taking the win, and they still haven't proved that they can beat the better teams in the league. And the biggest problem issue that I'm noticing is that as a team, the Knicks just do not play together as a team. Is it better to pay luxury tax and have a winsome side than be within budget and have the mediocre performances every night? That's a good question.
I would go luxury tax. Who wants a mediocre performance every night?
Right.
No, go for it. Go big or go broke. I mean, at this rate, you're only gonna tank, and if you don't make changes,
Yeah.
you know.
And I
So
think the Knicks need to take advantage while you do have Jalen Brunson, who is going to continue to get better, and you have a solid point guard, which will help attract superstar players and good players to want to come to play with the Knicks.
mhm.
So, I think that they have to take advantage of that and try to get guys in and build around him. And again, I can't really, the reason why I keep saying Brunson and not Randall is because it is Brunson's team. And I think with Randall, while he keeps us alive throughout the seasons with his high scoring, we don't know what we're going to get with him on a nightly basis. Like even tonight, we don't know who we're going to get. And I'm not just blaming it on him because, like I said, part of it is the togetherness. Look at the Knicks mascot. That's the Knicks mascot. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens tonight on the game. I know it's about the jump ball is about to go off, so tip off's about to happen soon. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, my mantra, let's go Knicks. We got this. Say go, do
Yeah,
your
uh,
go.
I think we're all itching for a win from the Knicks, and not allowing the Knicks to get outscored, and then to take control and be aggressive from the rip. So yeah, but I just want to say shout out to the chat. Shout out to Eddie, Wonder Woman, Nixa Nice, Amarion, Kareem Grant, um,
Okay,
who else?
bug.
Jay Boogie for stopping by and showing love. Shout out to the replay gang. You guys are always showing love. Hit the like button, guys. It does help us out tremendously. Subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell your cousins to subscribe to our channel. And as always, thanks for watching us and showing support. Let's go Knicks. Hoping to get this W tonight. And we will be back because we have some games this week. So look out for us. We will be back to do some post game, pre game coverage before Wednesday's game. And yeah, that's it for us tonight. Until next time, everybody. Peace.
We out.